All right, all right, all right. Welcome, everyone. It is me, Natalie Cousins, and I hope that you guys are having an awesome and amazing evening. I know that I had a great day and it was off to a great start. Tonight, we are going to be talking about 5 easy ways to build relationships. So if you are able to hear me, let's go ahead and get you to type something in the chat. So let's just confirm that. Hey, Vivia, if you can hear me, just give me a thumbs up or something in the chat to let me know that you can hear me. All right, so we're going to just give it a few more seconds here. All right, so we're going to jump into 5 ways or easy ways that you will be able to, hey Jay, 5 easy ways that you are able to build relationships to grow your business. And at this point of the game, it does not matter if you are brand new or if you have been in business for a while. So again, I'm Natalie Cousins, and I am happy to be joining you guys tonight just to talk about this quick, easy, and smooth. Welcome, Mandy. Welcome, Alita. All right, so the goal in relationship marketing is fairly simple, and it is to create long-term customer loyalty and continued engagement. And this is just a repeat cycle that you have to keep doing for your business. What we tend to find sometimes is that we're happy to get the initial sale, and then we forget the important touch points for after, so it gives you repeat business and referrals. So relationship-based marketing gives you visibility, it gives you authority, it gives you a stellar reputation, as well as happy and enthusiastic fans, or as I would like to call them, clients. And so it's very, very important for us to be able to understand that in the business that we're in, it's important that we have a relationship with our clients so they understand that it's not just a transaction and that we're actually going to be able to continue nurturing them even after the sale. So this is key important. So the first one that we're going to talk about is being social. A lot of us tend to be afraid of being social, and I'm not just talking about necessarily social media, but I'm talking about also being able to be social in relationships after or before the sale. All right, so you want to be present, personable on the social media networks where your ideal client is hanging out, but also when you're out in a networking event or something like that, you don't want to be stuck to one side of the room and not really working the room. You kind of want to mix and mingle so that people are able to know who you are and what you do. You also want to be setting limits. You want to make sure that you're hanging out with the right crowd. You want to step out and share, and then you also want to listen. So really listen to what others are saying as well. All right. Being social is not just chatting online for social media, as I stated earlier. I think it pops. It's posts, it's infographics, it's images. It's going to help to entertain your followers for you as well. It's also helpful if you are also writing blog posts or if you're making a quick how-to video about something that your client might be struggling with. So if you're in real estate and you know that sometimes it's hard for the homeowner to really pick the right real estate agent, then that's something that you want to speak to. Hello, John. And also, you want to do it in the spirit of helping and sharing. So for me, one of my things that I'm very passionate about is helping others in their business. And so I don't mind sharing tips. I don't mind helping. I don't mind giving my 2 cents if somebody asks for it. I think that the more people that you are able to connect with and let them know what you bring to the table, it makes it easier for you, and it also makes it easier for them. And so I am just saying that that's very important to be in the spirit of helping and as well sharing. Hello, Jacqueline. And so you also want to attend local festivals, volunteer in your community. You want to give workshops at, a new home builder's location, a local library. All the local libraries have ways that you can rent the rooms out. And sometimes they're of no fees. So if you can go to the local library and be able to offer some advice and be that go-to expert in your area, that's also a great thing. Another thing, being a part of business associations. So as a licensed real estate agent, I'm a member of a board of realtors. So from time to time, I try to give my advice there so that they are able to see that I'm an expert in my area, and they're able to come to me if they have any questions. Okay. The other thing is your community college, folks. Hello. There are so many new students coming into your city every semester or every year at the beginning of the school year. So why are you not reaching out to the college community to be able to offer your advice or build relationships with them depending on where you are at in your business? And let's not forget joining local organizations relevant to your calling. And so for myself, being in interior design and in real estate, I'm consistently touching in those communities. And I also donate my resources both on and offline. So for instance, next month you can catch me every Thursday at a local bistro coffee shop here in Brampton, where I will be just meeting and nurturing with other real estate agents. I'm letting everybody know that that's where you can come and meet me. And again, it will be all about relationship marketing and giving examples of relationship marketing. Starting next month, I'll also have a live Zoom call that will happen once a week for anyone worldwide that wants to connect in the real estate industry. And there will be workshops on relationship marketing for you to be able to talk to me. So donate your resources both on and offline. And also just keep in mind, to be a part of social relationships, it's building that's the key, right? So if you're going out to networking events, you want to be able to make sure that you're building other relationships. So whether it's exchanging Facebook information, your business cards, or your digital cards, anything that gets you to build the relationships with those people and staying connected. So for instance, if health is important to you, so for me, I'm in the health industry for multi-level marketing. My main goal is to lose a certain amount of weight. So from time to time, you'll see me share my smoothies, or you'll see me share the dinners that I'm making, or the salads. So remember that relationship marketing is just not all about the services that you are in. It also gravitates to the lifestyle that you're in. So you never know if somebody's a vegetarian, if somebody's gone vegan and they see that you're vegan as well, there's a connection. It's allowing them to see, oh my God, well, that person's vegan, I'm vegan too, we should connect. So you never know what your posts are going to bring, how it's going to bring a personality to it, and what it's going to do for you. And I think that that's key, is that it's not always about business. You know, I'm a mom of two, right? I'm a business individual. I'm building my empire. I've got 2 kids. I'm a wife. What if I connect with somebody that sees that I'm on a walk with my children, or somebody that sees that I take my kids to their swimming lessons? That might be a mom connecting with me to say, hey, how do you juggle it all? How is it that you're able to run a business, still be a mom, not have a nanny, things like that. So just the little things that you post that builds a relationship or builds a connection with somebody. So you basically have many different things to post. The second we want to talk about is being authentic. I cannot express it enough. Be your true self. So when in business and life is good, share those stories, right? But also if you're having a struggle, or if you're having a bad day, or a wonderful thing to practice is authenticity, to share your bad days as well. So like, you know, I'll post things like, one of my posts this evening was, you know, every setback is a comeback. And while I didn't necessarily give details of what was happening, hopefully that's helping somebody else to know, oh my God, you know, I'm having a setback today. Natalie's just posted that for every setback is a comeback, and that becomes motivational. I had one of my clients post the other day that they wouldn't be doing a social media live because they were having a mental health day. And I found that that was very invigorating, because at the end of the day, for anyone that was looking for her that day or whatever, it was okay for her to say that. So you got to practice the authenticity. You got to show the good and the bad. If something's not working out, if you're late on posting something or giving somebody something, that's reality, right? So people relate best to what they experience in the same doubts, the same setbacks, the same struggles, right? So how are they going to connect with you if everything just looks very peachy keen? Hi, everything's great, when in reality, everything's not. So you definitely have to stay authentic to you. So at the end of the day, I always say when I'm teaching in my 90-day program or something and I'm giving an example, or if I'm at a workshop, I am true to my brand and my authenticity. So if something's not going good, or one of the things was this struggle with my daughter and getting her to school on time. And so, I said to myself, maybe the problem's not actually her. Maybe the problem's me. So I had to look back at, how am I getting up in the morning? What's my morning routine? And basically, I had to add an extra 30 minutes to my time. So just like it takes her, an hour to thaw out, it takes me an hour to thaw out as well. So instead of trying to rush them to get them out the door, I just increased my clock by, instead of alarming at 6:30, it alarms at 6. That's my unwind time to then start the lunches and then to get them out. And that was a struggle that I had. So I shared that with my clients. And so at the end of the day, it helps them to realize, okay, there's a struggle here, but at the end of the day, this is how it's going to work. So you just want to be authentic. Teaching your failures is a wonderful way to help people realize that that failure is not necessarily important, right? And it's what we do with it and what we take and we learn from it. So I always say, my aunt taught me, use your test as your testimony, right? So everything that we're going through and everything that's happening in our lives, and that was actually my post today on Instagram. You want to look at your failures not as a bad thing and beat yourself up, but actually look at it as, what are you going to take away from it? What are you going to do to actually learn, right? And how are you going to channel that in the future of your business for growth? And that's so important, because if you're the type of person that has looked at everything and listen, guys, I have failed in so many different things. But the greatest thing is I've always been able to pick myself back up and start all over again. And when you have that strength and you have that tenacity to be able to get up, start again, but before you do that, reevaluate and do the shift, right? That's what's important. And so I always say to myself, I always go back to my books. I always go back to things that I have written in my journaling, and I say, okay, how can I better what I have made a mistake from in the past? And so basically what you're doing is you're correcting those self-sabotaging negative talks, and you're making them into positives. And then maybe you create a mantra for it, but people are watching you. Give your output on what has happened, and then give an input of what you're going to do to make it better. Okay, and that just helps to build you to move forward. All right. So when I think about how I start my day and about being authentic, I start my day every day with a gratitude prayer. Not always necessarily a green smoothie. Like I'm switching between the kale and the spinach right now. But basically for me, I literally have what I'm grateful for programmed in my phone. So in the morning, I get up, I come get my phone, and everything's actually programmed in my calendar, my prayers, whatever it is that I'm doing. Okay, I do that. I make my smoothie. I get the kids out the door. And I don't actually do my walk in the morning. I actually do my walk when I'm actually going to bring the lunches. And that's my time to either connect with you guys via Facebook Live, or just clear my thoughts and maybe record myself or write as I'm going, or have a self-talk with myself. Do things that inspire you. So I have a water feature. You can get some of those on Amazon for a really good price. And water features really range from anywhere from, say, $50 up to like $130. Get things that are tranquil and make things easier for you. So it calms you, it makes your office warm and inviting, and it helps you to balance, to be able to channel your day. All right. The other thing that I want to say is common areas that, you know, designers or real estate agents have problem with. It's procrastination, okay? It's balancing work and play and family life. They become workaholics and they're not able to switch off. Welcome, Mike. Welcome, Shireen. And so with these things, it becomes a problem of handling. And so, you know, I was doing research on procrastination the other day, and I actually found out that procrastination is actually not good for you. I'm a biblical person, so it's not good biblically. Fair is not good biblically. So guys, we have to be able to channel those things. And it's like, how are you putting off something that's going to make you money? How are you putting off things that's going to give you an audience? How are you putting off things that are going to get you clients? So we got to break the procrastination, guys. You got to figure out the ways to balance work, play, and family life. And we're all workaholics. It's not just real estate agents. It's not just designers. But what are we going to do to channel that so that it's better for us to be able to switch off, to be with family, be with friends, things like that. So we got to be able to break those things. Once they're broken, it's going to be able to have us be even more authentic, because we cannot fake it till we make it in terms of our energy, right? Like I had to learn that like really hard. How am I going to balance family, work, and play? And so people look at me like I'm crazy, but my phone has become my best friend. Alarms go off for shower time. Alarms go off for bedtime. Alarms go off to make lunches. That's just me. It keeps me going militant to be able to get my kids out and for me to be able to stay stable, to be able to meet my clients. And again, it's not a perfect world, guys. Let's just be real authentic right now. I cannot do a client call at 10 o'clock in the morning. By the time I deal with my 2 children, get them out the door, figure out lunches, it's 9 o'clock for me by the time I sit down, do my 9:30 emails, and check what it is that I have to do. So at the end of the day, your client doesn't have to know that you're trying to balance your morning routine. But at the end of the day is don't say your hours are 9 to 5 if it's really 10 to 7, right? It's not fair to them. It's not fair to you. And you also have an image that you have to uphold. So guys, let's just get that out the way. Let's just be authentic from in the morning when we get up and be authentic till we go to bed at night so our clients see the true us and it gravitates the right people that we're trying to work with. Now, you got to remember your manners, right? Like this is just so important because there are just certain things that you got to avoid because you don't know who it's going to affect, who it's not going to affect. And while you want to work with everybody and you do also want to be able to have a certain market niche, there are just certain things that you don't do. So I did just want to touch on manners tonight. So avoid being over political, especially if you're hitting hard stances on psychopolitical issues or polar opposites of your brand, right? So if it is a part of your brand, then yes, touch on it. But if it's not, don't touch on it. Okay? Avoid religion unless it's a huge part of your marketing or your faith. So I'm a religious person. It's a part of my faith. I talk about it. Now, if it's not a part of yours and if it's not something that you want to do, then you avoid it. But you're not going to be rude. You're not going to be crude, and you're not going to be downright disrespectful unless that's your brand. And if that is your brand, think about how many people would gravitate to you being rude, crude, or distasteful, right? Or disrespectful. So those are the things that you want to kind of look at to kind of say to yourself, should I be doing this or should I not be doing it? And ideally, your community, especially in social media, should be a nurturing place, folks, a safe place to explore ideas, discuss, ask questions, and mainly grow, right? That's what we want to do. We want to grow. And so common times we look at it and we say to ourselves, like, what's actually happening here? Why am I not getting the followers that I want? Why am I not getting the likes that I want? Guys, it's all about how you show up, right? So you got to be consistent in your community. You got to be the go-to expert in your community. And while there's enough people to go around, how you show up is how people remember you, and you only get that one chance to make that first impression. So let's focus on that, right? Fourth, we want to set aside our fears. This is something that I had to work on religiously because at the end of the day, I had the fear of coming on, being live. You know, you could put me in front of a stage with everybody. I take the mic, I'd be able to do it no problem. I have my training in like radio and television broadcasting, so I have no problem like talking. If they hired me on a radio station tomorrow, I would not have that problem. But I had a big problem with Facebook Lives. And it was because I had a fear of it. I didn't necessarily know the style of it. I didn't know necessarily what to do. But I had coaches that I was working with. I had people saying to me, Natalie, go ahead, do it. And I just had to basically shake myself up, and I had to be brave, right? So now I go live. I've always been able to go on stage and speak at events. That was never a problem for me. And so now what you got to do is, once you be brave and you step out of your box or your comfort zone, right? You got to start reaching out to other industry professionals and do joint ventures with them. You got to attend all of these events that are happening out there in your niche. And if technology is freaking you out, then you outsource it. And if I always say this, if outsourcing it is freaking you out, learn it for yourself so you feel comfortable with what it is. Make sure it's not sucking up too much of the non-income generating time. Learn how to do it effectively and economically. Once you're comfortable with it, you source it out. I equate that to something like my website, or learning how to upload pictures and things like that. Before I go outsourcing it, I want to know the time that it takes. So once I do outsource it, I could say, okay, well, it normally takes me this. And if you're the expert at what you do, you should be able to do it quicker than I can. All right. So the other thing that you got to let go of and set your fears aside is just put all of this into a box. Whatever it is that you need to do. I equate it to, I used to just take a regular sheet of printer paper, and I would just draw lines down it and then cut strips. And what I would do is I would just write down everything that I'm fearful of, put it in a box, and go to the little creek down the road and dump it to get rid of it. So I am no longer fear of failure. I'm not a fear of success. I don't fear what people will find out about me. I'm not a fear of specific measurable goals. I'm not a fear of public speaking. I don't fear how people think or react, because at the end of the day, what my message is and what I'm providing to everyone is going to touch who it's supposed to, right? And so, you know, fear of making commitments, fear of being noticed, and a fear of giving up control. And last but not least, a fear of accountability. We're all accountable for our own actions and our own results. So if you're working with a coach, if you're working with somebody in the industry that's an expert, you are accountable, right? So why are you going to be afraid to react, or afraid to be successful, or afraid that you may fail? Because at the end of the day, guys, nothing's carved in stone and nothing's easy. It's all on the energy that you give it, that it's going to equate to the success that you will receive. And while everyone's success is geared differently, it's all on how much energy you put in to get that, or how badly you really want it. And so sometimes it will help if you realize that all fears basically stem from breaking with a safe routine, a safe set of boundaries, or doing something different. So for those of you who are not necessarily full-time in your real estate business right now, you're dibble-dabbling in it a little bit, you've got the 9 to 5, and you're afraid to go full-time. So that's a safe routine. I talked last week about Maslow's hierarchy of needs and the 5 pillar points to the top of that pyramid, and people stay in the bottom 2. Safety and security. Some are just feeling safe, like they don't care that they don't necessarily have a high achievement level in their life, so they just stay in the safe zone. They have the job, their mortgage is paid. You know, who cares if they're check to check? They're just in their safe zone, and they keep in that boundaries. How do you elevate if you don't want to step outside the box? So there's one surefire cure for all of these fears, and it's just focusing on your community instead of dwelling in your own weakness. So start slow. Go online, pick the communities that you like, go out, be networking, start getting a feel for how it actually happens, and then you take it from there in order for you to see what type of networking you like to do, what type of community you like to show up in. And guys, everybody has this type of fear. My fear was doing Facebook Lives, right? Somebody else's fear is going to be going to a networking meeting and fearing that someone's going to actually call them up to speak. So how do you channel things like that? Well, you find somebody else to go to that event with, maybe somebody that's been there a couple of times, and then maybe they'll get to introduce you. And then maybe as you start to go, there is a sense of comfort that you get, and then all of a sudden you're a pro at it, right? Who could tell that I was ever nervous of doing Facebook Lives? And number 5, and last but not least, is knowing and living your brand everywhere. Okay, so for me, an easy stamp in your brand just reminds people of the colors in your photos, your Facebook live streams, your videos, your webinars, and your workshops that you do, or whenever you're attending somewhere. So I always say for real estate agents, and particularly, let's just say your broker's firm colors are red and white or orange and brown, right? We know 9 out of 10 people are going to do their brand colors based off their broker's real estate colors, right? Their brand colors. So why would you show up branding the colors of everybody else in the company, right? So you want to pick brand colors that are good for you, but it's going to set you outside of the competition. And that's also what makes you stand out for new buyers or new sellers to actually start working with you, because you pop out, right? You're no longer a chameleon fitting in and blending in with everybody in your industry and the saturated market. You are actually now still a part of that company and that community, but you've carved yourself out, and it allows you to pop out and allows people to see you. And so your branding strategies need harmonizing with support in your personality, your mission, and your message. And remember, it's all about standing out in the crowd. Okay, guys? So those were the 5 things to be able to quickly and easily build your relationship marketing with your clients in your industry. 1 is be social. 2, being authentic. 3, remembering your manners in the industry and to the general public. 4, setting aside your fears. And 5, know and live your brand everywhere. All right, guys? So at this stage of the game, does anyone have any questions? If you do, go ahead and type it in the chat. I'll be able to answer some quick questions for you guys if you guys have anything. Also, if you are in the Toronto area, GTA area, particularly Brampton, and if you are a licensed real estate agent, if you're new to the industry, I will be at Williams Fresh Cafe at Queen and Torbram every Thursday starting May the 3rd from 1 to 2:30, guys. I'll be talking more about relationship marketing, how to get known, how to get seen and get clients. That will be the focus of these workshops. If you are international or if you're not able to make it, I will be hosting Zoom calls online, and I'll post that via Facebook as well. So if you're in the industry, new, existing, you want to get a fresh take on your business, then you'll be able to join me once a week on Mondays or Tuesdays via the Zoom, and I'll post a link for that. But as it stands right now, guys, that is basically how you're going to stand out in the market, is just connecting, making loyalty in the industry and getting the repeat clients and the repeat businesses. And so if you are having a struggle in the area of how you're going to be able to stand out, I also have my relationship marketing course, which covers the connections and client loyalty and cash. Basically, you'll be building strong relationships and the money will flow. You're going to be able to step out of your comfort zone and make powerful connections. You're going to turn your clients into raving fans, and you're going to maximize your cash flow. So we do have a question. Just let me read it here. So one of the attendees' questions is, beyond typical meetup and real estate focused events, are there any other events you can recommend we consider when networking? So you're a real estate agent. You got to think about where your potential buyer would be. So one nugget that I could give is start looking at lenders and seeing what they have up. Royal Bank has a lot of buyer focused events. So you want to kind of tune into where the big box lenders are having their events. So Royal Bank, CIBC, Bank of Montreal, Wells Fargo, Chase, Bank of America. They do a lot of things, events for their clients to be able to sell the products to them. And then when the client comes up to them, they go there. So as a real estate agent, you would want to go where the lenders are, because it means that these buyers are actually looking into buying a property and they're going to need an agent. So 9 times out of 10, it's the agent that's available to them or the agent that stands out. So I would consider that. All right. Is there any other questions, guys? See anything else coming in? I will post the location for the Wednesday workshops here in Brampton, and the workshops for online as well. All right, guys. So again, I am Natalie Cousins. It is always awesome and amazing. If you guys are having any areas in your business and you do want to talk to me, you can direct message me, or you can also book your free consultation call with me at www.nataliecousins.com /book me, and I'll post that in the chat. You just go to the calendar and pick a time that works best for you to be able to talk with me, and I will be able to give you a complimentary call. All right, guys, it's Wednesday, Wisdom Wednesday. I hope that you guys enjoyed the information that I was able to give you tonight. Join me every Wednesday live where we talk about relationship marketing and how to build your business. It has been an awesome and amazing night. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you guys really soon. Bye for now.